Have you ever felt like life couldn't get any worse? Like no matter how hard you try, the world is just set against you? Maybe you're in a pit right now, searching for light. Well, the story of Joseph from the Bible is here to remind us all that no matter how deep the pit may seem, there's a palace waiting if you hold on to faith. This is the story of Joseph, a tale of betrayal, resilience, and a divine purpose fulfilled. Don't scroll. You might just find the hope you're looking for. Joseph was the 11th son of Jacob, also called Israel, and Rachel's firstborn. But he wasn't just any son. Jacob loved Joseph more than all his other children, a fact that was hard to miss. Jacob gifted Joseph a coat of many colors, a stunning garment, a symbol of favor and privilege. However, this brought jealousy and disdain from his older brothers. They couldn't stand him, and things got worse when Joseph began sharing his dreams. Joseph had extraordinary dreams, uncannily vivid messages from God that hinted at a destiny of greatness. One dream showed sheaves of wheat bowing down to his sheaf in a field. In another, the sun, moon, and 11 stars bowed before him. His brothers didn't interpret these dreams favorably. Instead, they saw them as a declaration that Joseph imagined he would rule over them. Envy festered in their hearts. One day, Jacob sent Joseph to check on his brothers as they tended their flocks in the fields near Dothan. As Joseph approached, his brothers saw the perfect opportunity to deal with the thorn in their side. "Here comes that dreamer," they sneered. They plotted to kill him and throw him into a pit, then tell their father a wild animal had devoured him. Brutal, right? But cooler, and somewhat kinder, heads prevailed. Reuben, the oldest brother, convinced them not to kill Joseph, but to throw him into a dry cistern instead, intending to return later and rescue him. Moments after they stripped Joseph of his colorful coat and flung him into the pit, a caravan of Ishmaelite traders appeared in the distance. Seeing a chance for profit, the brothers sold Joseph into slavery for 20 pieces of silver. Imagine the heartbreak, the betrayal Joseph must have felt as his own flesh and blood handed him over to strangers. Once in Egypt, Joseph was sold to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh and captain of the guard. Despite his situation, Joseph worked diligently. He gained Potiphar's trust and was put in charge of his household. Things seemed to be improving for a moment. But then Potiphar's wife falsely accused Joseph of assault after he refused her advances. Even in the face of immense temptation, Joseph chose righteousness. And yet his reward was to be thrown into prison. How would you feel at this point? Betrayed by your family, sold into slavery, and now falsely accused and jailed? It would be easy for bitterness to take hold, to give up. But Joseph held fast to his faith in God, and even in prison, he thrived. God granted him favor with the guards, and soon Joseph was put in charge of the prisoners. While in prison, Joseph's gift of interpreting dreams came in handy. Two of Pharaoh's officials, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker, were imprisoned with Joseph, and both had distressing dreams. Joseph, with God's wisdom, interpreted their dreams correctly. He predicted that the cupbearer would be restored to his position and that the baker would be executed. Events happened just as Joseph had said. Joseph asked the cupbearer to remember him once he returned to Pharaoh's court, but the cupbearer forgot him for 2 whole years. Then, Pharaoh himself had troubling dreams. He saw 7 healthy cows consumed by 7 scrawny cows, and 7 full heads of grain devoured by 7 withered heads. None of Pharaoh's magicians could interpret the dream. That's when the cupbearer remembered Joseph. Finally, after years of waiting, Joseph's moment arrived. Summoned before Pharaoh, Joseph made it clear that interpretations belonged to God. He explained that the dreams foretold 7 years of abundance, followed by 7 years of severe famine. But Joseph didn't stop with the interpretation. He offered a solution. to appoint a wise and discerning man to store grain during the years of plenty to prepare for the famine. Impressed by his wisdom and insight, Pharaoh appointed Joseph as his second-in-command, giving him authority over all of Egypt. Overnight, Joseph went from prisoner to prince. Sure enough, the famine came, and it was widespread. Back in Canaan, Joseph's family was starving. His brothers, unaware of Joseph's status in Egypt, came seeking food. Joseph recognized them immediately, but they didn't recognize him. How would you respond to the very people who betrayed you? Many of us might seek revenge. Yet, Joseph chose a different path. Through a series of interactions, he tested their character to see if they had changed. Finally, overcome with emotion, Joseph revealed his identity to his brothers. "I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt," he said. But here's the part that shows Joseph's incredible faith. Instead of anger, he reminded them of God's sovereignty. "Do not be distressed or angry with yourselves because you sold me here, for God sent me before you to preserve life." Joseph's journey wasn't just about surviving hardships. It was about fulfilling a divine purpose, to save lives. By the end of the story, Jacob and his entire family moved to Egypt, where Joseph provided for them during the famine. What started in a pit ended in a palace, proving that God can use even the darkest moments for his glory. Perhaps the most striking message from Joseph's story is forgiveness. He had every reason to hold a grudge, to stay angry at his brothers for their betrayal. But Joseph understood that harboring bitterness would only trap him in the past, keeping him from the bright future God had planned for him. His forgiveness wasn't just for his brothers. It was a gift to himself. So, what does Joseph's story mean for us today? Maybe you're facing betrayal, hardship, or seasons where nothing makes sense. Let Joseph's life remind you of the power of faith and resilience. Remember, no matter how deep your pit, God can still lead you to your palace. Stay true to righteousness, forgive those who wrong you, and trust in God's timing. The setbacks you're experiencing now might just be setting you up for a breakthrough you can't yet imagine. Stay steadfast. Your palace awaits. If this story moved you or you know someone who's going through a tough time, share this video with them. Let them hear Joseph's testament to hope, faith, and resolution. Remember, his plans are greater than ours, and he never abandons his people.